So we are doing questions on this beautiful Wednesday evening. And my question to you, my dear, is 3 lessons that you learned from your HBCU experience that you didn't think were taught during your PWI experience.
Oh. That's a really good question. So one thing that I learned during my HBCU experience specifically was like the diversity of Blackness. And I think that if I had gone, and I can't speak for everyone's experience. I mean, the 3 of us went to HBCU's undergrad, but I have friends who thoroughly enjoy their PWI experience undergrad. And I feel like you should go wherever it calls you to go. That's your choice. But I'm glad that I went to Spelman undergrad. And I think I had a very narrow view of what Blackness was, being from the east side of Atlanta. I want to be very clear. I'm from Metro Atlanta, Lithonia, Georgia specifically. Not actually like city of Atlanta, but I had a really pleasant Black upbringing, and all of my friends from growing up are Black, and we all have a lot of similarities. Clearly, that's why we're friends, and we all went to institutions of higher education. And so I felt like everyone was in that same variation of middle class. I think the first time when I got to Spelman, I realized like what Black wealth looked like.
Money.
And not just being rich, because there's a difference. Like, oh, your mom went to Spelman and your grandma went to Spelman. Like, you have a lineage here. So that's not something that I was really as well versed in. And like, my parents did really well for themselves. Like, no discredit to them, but I'm just saying, like, there are different socioeconomic levels that I was not aware of prior to coming or had any experience with. I just didn't know I'd be in school with them. And so it was really nice to have experience different or diverse experiences within a Black space, because I think if I had gone to a PWI, I would have only hung around Black people, not because I enjoyed their company, but because we were Black. And I felt like at Spelman, like my friends that I've had from Spelman, like I love like sisters for real. And we really are friends and have like quirky, complex things in common. And we're not friends because we're Black women. We're friends because we love each other. And HBCUs are sacred ground. Like, that's 4 years where I wasn't othered. I wasn't a diversity choice or higher. Like, I really had the option to really be myself. So understanding the diversity of Blackness. Also, I think there was a confidence that I got from being with other young Black women who are trying to do something in their life that may have been different from the norm, that I know I wouldn't have gotten at a PWI. After being at both 2 PWIs for my master's, I realized that like there was a certain level of confidence instilled in me that I just know that I wouldn't have gotten, maybe because of maturity, maybe because of resources at the school, but I know I wouldn't have gotten it at a PWI had I gone at 18. I actually think I would have had a really rough experience based on who I knew myself to be then.
Right.
And then, what is the third? There's so many things. I'm trying to like make sure that I'm succinct in my answer.
No, take your time. I mean, I would even just go as far as like, well, not even as far, but how do you think your experience would have been different if you would have gone to those PWIs for undergrad versus grad school? So if you
for the PWIs that I went to for my master's specifically, I would have been miserable. And that's shade to the institutions. I mean, I'm happy to have received a degree from both of them, but I felt like there was a lack of support while I was there as a master's student, being an adult in that space. And I just can't imagine having to have navigated something like that at 18.
Right.
And I don't think I would have tapped into my creativity in the same way. Like, I also had health issues undergrad, and I just don't know if I would have had the same kind of support. I'm also thankful that I was in Atlanta, close to family during that time too. So location is also very key, but like, I don't think I would have been as successful. And not just like, there were issues with professors at Spelman that like I didn't really agree with the way that they practiced or taught.
Right.
But there were always people on campus looking out for my best interests and like making sure that I got out. Like, I think of Miss Retina Burton. She was head of like dual degree program at Spelman at the time. And I didn't go through a dual degree, but like Miss Burton made sure that I was sane and like always believed in me. And I don't know if I would have had that same support, or it would have been harder to find had I gone to those PWIs for undergrad. And I was also just a little rebellious. I was anti a lot of things for no reason. Like, I'm not going to do that just because. And like, people could see through that at Spelman. And I don't know if anyone would have given me the same grace.
Right.
Had I gone to a PWI.
Well, I feel like that's your third point. It's like the community aspect of that is cultivated in an HBCU space, like from your peers to your professors to the lunch lady that, you know, gives you a little something extra on a Friday when you ain't got no money.
Yeah, she used to do we used to burn CDs. She would do little mixtapes on CDs.
Listen, and it don't matter, like whoever, like in the dorm, on the campus, like, and that's why my mom has always said, like, you treat everyone equally because people will look out. And I think that just speaks to, you know, I went to Howard, you went to Spelman, but I think there is a commonality of a shared experience and energy that just vibrates through HBCUs that you just can't even like sometimes like speak the eloquence that it deserves, but also just like that connection that you get with people in a space that is, like you said, it's unapologetically like Black, diasporic, and people look out. Like, it is a communal space. Like, it's a governance space where there is a level of respect that one has, but like also understanding, like I said, people look out for you. So
I also think like, though, I think it's really helpful for people who may not have the same kind of confidence that they believe that they should have going into their undergrad experience. But coming out of Spelman, I think I actually really gained really great friendships at both PWIs because I already had friends from Spelman. And so it may have come across as arrogant, but like, I didn't need friendships when I went to I had really good friends. And so in looking for friendship in my master's programs, that's also what I was looking for. Like, I wasn't looking for friends because it was a good look for me, because I already had friends who were actually really authentic and additionally happened to be a good look. Right. So going into both experiences, like the friends that I have gained from both like my education, master's experience, and then like my business school experience, like I really like them as people, and I will continue to keep in touch with them. And for those that I don't, not saying that I dislike them, but there wasn't an itch to
stay in touch,
stay super close to people that I didn't have a real bond with, because then like, you don't want to be, and I feel like we both get this, like, you got a lot of friends, and like, that's not necessarily true. Like, we both know a lot of people.
Right.
but I know who my friends are. And I felt like that's something that I got to learn at Spelman, was like, be in a relationship with people who you both feed each other, not just like spiritually, but you have fun together. You can respectfully correct each other. You can watch each other grow. You want each other to succeed. And I think I got that same way of thinking going into my grad school experiences. So that kind of cut some of the riffraff out, shall I say.
Love that. Yeah. Were there any other lasting things that you wanted to say about your HBCU experience? And for those that are watching, if you know, are interested in going to an HBCU or have a cousin or younger sibling, definitely tell them to reach out. I can provide my experience from coming from Detroit and a black city to DC, chocolate city. And also give her her point of view, you know, coming from east side of Atlanta. And so I don't know, any parting words about, I don't know, why HBCUs and or why not?
I think HBCUs are a wonderful experience. I have lots of thoughts about why you make the decision to go there. I would suggest that everyone go there, but obviously that's not possible. I do have a pet peeve though. It literally just came to mind. But we should probably talk about this on another conversation. But I'm really concerned with people who are of the diaspora and don't understand the importance of HBCUs. Like, that is a huge pet peeve of mine. And also, like, don't go to homecomings either if you don't like HBCUs. Like, stay at yours.
She said, if you can't come to my tent and get a plate, because
like, have you seen the like HBCU-ish sweatshirts?
Oh yeah, girl, it's not the same. Let's
not do, like, don't discredit what an HBCU experience is. Like, you could have had a wonderful time at your PWI, and I respect that. And like, maybe you wouldn't have done what you felt like you could have done in an HBCU at your PWI, or maybe you got a full scholarship. I'm never telling anybody to turn down money and take loans. So like, that's never a thing. Right. So if that's the reason that you went, go for it. But like, well, HBCU-ish, like, it's rude. Well,
and for those people, you know, you may be timed out to do an undergrad experience, but for those who may have interesting opinions, go to HBCU for a grad experience, because not only will you get a space of community, you're going to get a space of learning of oneself and of others that are a part of the diaspora, in addition to the fact that, yeah, we're not even, that's another conversation, because people,
that should be a discussion. We should bring some people on, and like, people, why
HBCUs graduate the most doctors, most lawyers, judges. Like, the stats are there, and regardless of, you know, where you went for undergrad, we still compete. So if you decide to do undergrad in HBCU, we get into the same business schools. Like, you going to Harvard doesn't necessarily position you better for Stanford. Like, we take the same exam. So I don't know. I'm of the belief that when people have negative views about HBCUs, one, I just feel like they're ignorant and not understanding the full breadth and history and context of them. But then there's also like some things that they probably have been miseducated about. And I won't say there's a lack or there's a space of self-hate, but
you already said it.
Well, that's another conversation. If you don't love yourself,
I'm not gonna say that you don't like yourself, but
I ain't gonna say it. I'm not. So if you think the white man's ice is colder,
that's a whole.
Do you?
Let's end on a positive note.
On a positive note,
few people I've thought of already.
Oh, she got names. No, we're not gonna do that. But no, I appreciate it. Thank you for this conversation this evening. Again, HBCUs are amazing and a beautiful place. If you didn't go to an HBCU, it is fine. We will welcome you to the homecoming. Just don't talk no mess. Because you're not getting no plate.
PWI sweatshirt to the homecoming. You're like,
we don't care you went
weird.
to Stanford. You could buy a Howard sweatshirt. You could buy a Morehouse sweatshirt, Clark, Tuskegee, Elizabeth City, North Carolina A&T, NCCU, FAMU, whoever. Don't come
There's
up in there.
95 plus HBCUs, but like, don't put whatever PWI and then put HBCU-ish under it. It's just weird.
Yes, so leave your Michigan State sweatshirt at home. We don't care about UGA in the space. You're coming to be amongst community, have a good time, chat, talk, joke. But with that, I want to say have an amazing evening and a great
Thanks, Aminata.
Thanks, Carol.